Meister, and I'm here to talk about your next video assignment, which is titled Breaking Up is Hard to Do, which is what brings me right here to a school dance. Oh, Mr. Meister, that's horrible. How can you talk about breaking up at a school dance? All right, we're not really talking about love. Instead, what we're talking about is how to take your video that's this big and breaking up one big scene into many different little scenes. So let's get into what this assignment is actually all about. Now, in all these video segment assignments, I'm always going to reinforce what you've already learned in the prior assignment. So the last assignment you did was titled, What's My Line? And in there were two objectives I wanted you to learn. One was how to coach your talent and get them to perform and deliver the way you envisioned in your head. The second main thing that I had with the What's My Line assignment was timing or pacing. As you're moving from scene to scene, how long or short of a gap should be in between each person. So that's what you learned in the last assignment. I still, in Breaking Up is Hard to Do, I'm going to have you do those same two things, but now I'm going to add two new components. If you haven't already read through the sheet, why don't you read through it right now just to bring yourself up to speed. All right, assuming you've read through this assignment sheet, let's talk about what it is I want you to learn. Number one is point of view. This assignment is about putting your audience into the middle of a conversation. So many times when two people are talking, you have one person here and one person here, and it's filmed like from my perspective. And as a result, you're never really feeling part of the conversation because you're looking at it from the outside. But imagine like how I'm talking to you right now, where I'm looking right into the camera, you feel a little more connected. And that's what I want you to do with your conversation. You are going to write out a script, 9 lines for you, 9 lines for your partner, and what you're basically going to do is film it and put all the pieces together from my point of view, from the partner's point of view, and you're going to edit that all together. And you're like, Mr. Meister, I'm not getting it. All right, let me show you an example so maybe you have a better idea of exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey.
Hello.
Notice his point of view.
Yeah.
Notice now you're seeing
me too.
her point of view.
Yeah.
His point of view.
So.
Her point of view.
I have no idea what to say.
His point
Me
of view.
So,
Her point of view.
Yeah. How's school?
Good.
Good. This is awkward.
Yeah, it is. It's funny.
Notice the
that
orange
we
shirt
have
guy.
Nothing to say, yet we're
Notice the
talking
purple
about
shirt
something
guy.
right now.
Notice
Such
the purple
irony.
shirt guy again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We should get to class.
yeah, we should.
Yep. So, bye.
Bye.
Hopefully you noticed something about that example, and that was the simplicity of the story. I am not looking for some big elaborate script. I am looking for a conversation about anything. It could be about an upcoming dance. It could be about, what are your plans for this weekend? It could be how much, you hate your beginning TV teacher, or like, if that's the case, all right? Whatever it might be, I'm just looking for a dialogue to take place between two people. All right, that one I show you primarily because it's so simplistic, and I want you to see that. It doesn't have to be about much. Now, there is one problem with that example that I just showed you, and that is that most of the dialogue is too short. I want you to write complete sentences, not because I'm trying to be mean, but honestly, it'll be easier when you're editing it, and it'll also be easier for your viewer to watch. If you do everything in short little 1 or 2 word statements, it'll kind of come off like this. Hey, how are you? Fine. What are you doing? Nothing. Got any plans? No. Why? I'm bored. And you end up with this ping pong match that's going back and forth, and after a while, your viewers are going to get kind of annoyed with just the scenes constantly bouncing around. So talk in a complete sentence. Hey, Olivia, how are you doing? Oh, Mr. Meister, I'm doing really great. Do you have any big plans for this weekend? Actually, no, I got a lot of papers to grade, and my point is, when you're talking in a complete sentence, it's going to make things much easier for you to edit, and when your viewers are watching it, they're going to get a little bit better sense, and they're not going to get this headache because you keep switching the shots around. All right. Now, as I said, with every one of these segment assignments, there's usually two big things I want you to learn. The first one is that point of view that you just saw demonstrated. The second thing is continuity. Now, you may have noticed when that video was playing, that example, I was shouting out the orange shirt guy and the purple shirt guy, and there was a reason for that. Now, let's take a step backwards for a second, and let me say, this is how some people want to create this video. What they want to do is they want to grab the camera and they film one person talking, hey, how are you? And then they stop the camera and then they give the camera to the other person that they're talking to, and then they're basically like, record, I'm fine, thanks, how are you? And then you turn it and it goes back and forth like this. Now that's a real easy way to create your video. It's also a very easy way to edit your video because now all your scenes are in order as you edit them together. The problem is you lose that continuity, and you're like, what's continuity? All right. Continuity is anytime there is a mistake as you're cutting from scene to scene. And sometimes the easiest place to see continuity mistakes are like TV shows or movie scenes where people are eating. They might spend 3 hours filming a simple little scene with a conversation of some people talking. Well, during that conversation in the movie, the people are eating a piece of pizza and maybe taking a drink of Pepsi. Well, in between takes, they're like, cut, let's do that again. Okay, you gotta do this differently, you gotta do that differently. All right, well now they're still eating. They're getting really full because they've been eating all night. But in one scene, maybe there were 3 bites taken out of the piece of pizza. And then a second later, because we're editing it all together at a later time, now suddenly there's only 1 bite out of it. That's called a continuity mistake. Same is true with a drink. I mean, I take a sip from my straw and it's now, half, almost empty. And then suddenly in a scene later it's full again, and then it's empty, and then it's full again. Those are continuity mistakes. Matter of fact, I'll really deviate here. If you're really bored someday, go on the web. There's a website I think called moviemistakes.com. And you punch in your favorite movie and it'll tell you all the mistakes that are in it. Now, I don't know who does this, who has the time to find out all these mistakes and put them in. Not me, I don't know who does. But if you're bored one day, it's there. So anyways, your job is to make this movie without continuity mistakes. Now, let's come back to what I was talking about. You may recall if you're filming it one scene at a time, what's going to happen to my background as I'm switching the cameras between the people? And the answer is it's going to disappear. It's going to be different. And so the correct way that you're going to want to film this project is you're going to film, if there's 2 people, let's pretend I'm filming this with Kristen, all right? I'm going to hold the camera, I'm going to hold the script up, and the camera's right here, and Kristen is going to read all of her lines. Hey, Mr. Meister, how are you doing? And when she gets to a point where I would be talking, she's just going to pause and act like she's listening. And then when it comes time where her line would come up, she reads it silently in her head. Oh, well, that's really interesting. Hey, I was wondering, I have a question. I need to get caught up on some work. Are you available to come in during homeroom? Because this is my line here. And then again, so we're filming all of Kristen's lines towards me. Then when we're done with all of Kristen's line, I'm going to stop recording. How many scenes do I have so far? Just 1. But now I'm going to give the camera to Kristen, I'm going to give the script to Kristen, and she's going to hold it up, and now I'm going to do all of my lines. And when I get to one of Kristen's lines, what am I going to do? I'm going to pause and act like I'm listening. And ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these pieces. I have 2 big clips, all of my clips, all of her clips, and actually going to film it a 3rd time from the establishing shot, but we'll talk about that later. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to edit them all together. Now when you have a purple shirt guy or someone doing something behind me there, you're not going to have these continuity mistakes. You're like, okay, Mr. Meister, you've talked about continuity, I'm not sure I'm totally getting it. Let me show you an example and tell me if you see any continuity mistakes.
Hey, what's up?
Just looking for a book. You?
Me too. What kind of book?
For a history project. You?
Same here. Do you want to look together?
Sure.
How about this one?
Not really. What does that have to do with history? Is this any better?
Now I'm going to stop it right there. It's not the whole video. Have you seen any continuity mistakes? Some people maybe have said, no. Some people are like, yeah, I saw one. The truth of the matter is every one of those scenes has a continuity mistake in it. Let's watch the video again. So notice how the pink girl is holding her hands. Notice how the blue girl is holding her hands.
Just looking for a book. You?
Me too. What kind of book?
Notice how the hands are
For a history
changing.
project.
as you cut between the scenes.
Same here. Do you want to look together?
Sure.
How about this one?
Watch now how Blue
Not
Girl
really.
suddenly is
What
going
does
to be
that have
holding
do
a
with
book.
history? Is this any better?
Obviously, you can see how important it is to pay attention to continuity. If you don't film each scene exactly the same every time, you're going to have those little differences sneak in and kind of ruin your video. I've had students come up to me in the past and be like, Mr. Meister, you ruin movies for me. I was at the movie theater on Friday night, and all I was doing was focusing on all the mistakes. I don't know if I'm flattered or I feel bad for you, because I know what you mean. There's many times where I'm watching TV and I'm focusing and looking for those continuity mistakes. They're there. The professionals in the industry, things do slip by. I used to, when I was younger, I was at some tapings for Everybody Loves Raymond, and when they were filming a scene and the director would yell, cut! And then, the director would talk and say, okay, Ray, here's what you were doing wrong, here's what you were doing wrong, and I want to film the scene differently like this, this, and this, and then, well, let's pick it up from right here. And then he'd be like, okay, Marge, and then Marge would come walking in and she'd be like, okay, so here's what everyone was doing. Ray, you were standing over there. You had a newspaper under your arm and your hand was in your pocket. Your thumb was sticking out though in front. Patricia, you were standing. And the point is she's got every little detail down of what everyone was doing. Now, Marge may still make some mistakes and miss some details, but this is what Hollywood does, is they're looking to make sure that when they edit all these pieces together, that they mesh and suddenly we don't have, a drink that's half empty or half full that suddenly is appearing that way. But if you're really bored, next time you're watching a movie and you're bored with the dialogue or you don't like the movie, look for the continuity mistakes. Make it a little bit more interesting for yourself. All right. So I think you got the idea of what I'm looking for in this assignment. How about I show you another example of what I would consider a pretty good video, and take a look and tell me what you think.
Hey, Jack.
Oh, hey, Abby, what's up?
Nothing much. Just about to go out to lunch.
Oh, cool. What do you have?
Shoot, I forgot my lunch.
Oh, well, I'm going out to lunch.
Oh, I'll tag along.
Oh, okay. Where do you feel like going?
I don't know, Culver's?
No, that's gross.
How about Subway?
Oh, well, I would, but I just had Subway last night. So.
Pizza?
A whole pizza?
No, just a slice from Germano's.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
All right, let's go.
All right, I'm starving.
It was actually a pretty good video. They did a great job with perspective. And don't forget, that's one of the huge things that this assignment is about. Anytime you are filming, if it's not an establishing shot where you're just kind of establishing the setting, the filming should be done from either person A's perspective or person B's perspective. And so like when you had that shot looking down in the purse, it was from Jack's perspective, all right? And pay attention to that. Now, hopefully you did catch the continuity mistake in there, and that was because they filmed it over 2 days. They filmed it all in one day, they edited it together and realized some things didn't work out, so they went back and refilmed another day. But they were smart enough to say, I gotta wear the same clothes again. So they brought the same clothes so we wouldn't have that continuity error, but what they forgot to check was what was going on in the background. And that's why you have a guy appearing and then suddenly disappearing from the video. All right. Now, some people might not catch it. I know most of you probably did because you were looking for continuity mistakes. Again, this assignment about 2 things: point of view and continuity. So be careful of that. So what are you doing between now and next time we meet? I want you to write out a script. It can be about any topic you like, but it does need to be at least 18 lines long. 9 lines for you, 9 lines for the other person that you're talking to. And you're going to be filming it the next time we meet, so make sure you have that script ready to go. Now, a helpful hint I might give you about the script, and one is that I would actually color code each person's line of text. The idea of color coding the text is, while it's not required or necessary, it just makes it easier, I've noticed in the past, when students are filming, to know where person one's text begins and where it ends, and then where it starts up again. They can just follow their colors along. Hopefully this video helps you a little bit in understanding what it is I'm looking for with this assignment. Again, coaching and pacing, of course, are going to be a part of it, but now we're adding point of view to this, and obviously we're adding continuity to it, which is why this assignment is titled Breaking Up is Hard to Do, because you will find out it's much easier to film from one camera, but breaking it up into its scenes is a little harder to do. Sorry to disappoint those of you that were looking for some romance here with a title like Breaking Up is Hard to Do, but that's all it's all about. So we'll see you next time we're in class. Have a great time until then.